Hey guys. So I'm not in today. I'm out working with a group of teachers working on what is called the creed for the school. And the creed is kind of like our motto or something like that, where it's kind of like a guideline that we're going to live by and work by. So hopefully it's going to be a good day for me. I know it's going to be a good day for you because I have a assignment and a study guide for you. So the study guide is going to review everything that we've been doing for the last couple weeks in class. It's going to be scatter plots, it's going to be prediction of data, it's going to be the line of best fit or the trend line, and then it's going to be the frequency, the two-way frequency tables that we've been working on. So I wanted to go over the first page with you. So when you get your pages, it's going to look like this. They're actually in your textbook on page 427, 28. I'm sorry, 247, 248, 249, and 250. So there's going to be two pages that you're going to get. And the first page, well, I'll just show you what I'm talking about here. So, this is a program. The program is called GIMP. It allows me to use my mouse to write on different files. So I have all of the forms uploaded. So this one's zoomed in a little bit so I can write on it. And that's why it's slightly blurry. It is what it is, man. We're going to have to deal with it. So how can you represent, starting off with on the first page, which is page 247. First question says, how can you represent the relationship between paired data and use the representation to make predictions? If we go back into our notes for everything that we've been doing the last few weeks, that question is answered in there. Also, think about what we've been talking about and the different relationships that we've been working with. So I'm going to let you guys handle that question. Vocabulary. Number one here says the number of visits, age, months, and times are example of what? And if we look at our information here, our choices, we have categorical data, outliers, clusters, relative frequency, measurement data, and trend line. So if we're looking at number of visits, age, months, and times, those would be an example of measurement data. So that would be measurement data. And that is some beautiful, beautiful handwriting. What I actually think I will do is I will get rid of all of that, and then I will circle measurement data and draw a line. I prefer that you guys write it in, but because of the way that this is coming up on screen, I think I'm just going to roll with it this way. So number two says colors, gender, and nationality are examples of what? And again, we go back and we look. That is going to be our categorical data. That is how we can categorize things. So that would be there. And then finally, if 7 out of 20 people prefer reading a book to watching a movie, then saying that 35%, and I'm going to underline that 35%, saying that 35% of the people polled prefer reading a book is an example of what? And if we remember back and we look at our two-way frequency tables, the two-way frequency tables are the ones that have our exact numbers, our exact number of people surveyed, the exact number of whatever it is. But if we think about those relative frequency tables, remember when I said relative frequency is just a fancy word for saying the percentage of stuff? So if we look here, we have our relative frequency. So our relative frequency would be our fancy way of saying what percentage of people like what. So that would fit down here. What I would like you guys to do, in addition to writing in your vocab, is to go over additional examples. I know that you guys can think of at least one, maybe two additional examples that you guys can fill in. Oh, excuse me. And this will help you remember what's what on the quiz and on the test. So we're going to have our test in a few days here. That's why I'm giving you the study guide. So just keep that in mind. Down at the bottom where it says use the vocabulary in writing. Look, I'm not going to make you guys do more work than what's required or what's necessary to do well on my test. So I'm going to say, instead of writing it out and writing a paragraph, just read it. Read it, think about how you would answer it, and then tell your partner next to you when you guys are both on this question. Give each other a verbal description. Instead of writing it out, you can tell each other verbally. I think that'll benefit y'all. All right, let me go on to the next one. So 4.1. This was when we first started, a long time ago, you guys might remember, when we first started doing scatter plots. And we had our scatter plot that we had to do and we had to understand. And it helped us to actually make a plot. Remember when we were looking at the races won and the derbies or the home runs hit or the three-pointers made, and we created our own scatter plot? That's what you guys are going to practice for 4-1. 4-1's got a lot of examples here, and then here's your own scatter plot over on the right-hand side that you will make. So you will be working on this one. Excuse me. I didn't have, it's late at night, so you can tell, I'm kaput, man. Didn't have any coffee after 3 p.m. But you guys are going to be working on this side over here. All right, and then 4.2 helps us when we analyze those scatter plots. So when we talked about what the scatter plots were, when we made the scatter plot for Mo Money, Mo Problems, you guys were able to understand that there was some kind of association. So this is going to be talking about the associations. This one right here, this example right here, would be a positive association because it goes up. It increases as these numbers, as the bottom increases, so does the y. So as the x increases, so does the y. That's why it's a positive association. What I will say is that I know that we have notes on this, so it would probably be your best bet to look at some notes, and you guys will be able to handle this really well. This is the one where people seem to struggle with, 4.3. This is where people seem to struggle. And that was making the equation. When you guys gathered your trend line, when you guys got your trend line, you had to create an equation in slope-intercept form to determine what your slope was. So for this one, the slope-intercept form is already given to you. Your trend line is created and your graph is already plotted. So you guys should be able to answer these questions fairly easily. These are going to be the types of questions that are going to be asked on your quiz. You guys got this. And then finally, our last page is 4.4 and 4.5. So there's only 5 parts of this whole unit. So 4.4 and 4.5 talk about two-way tables and frequency tables. And I'll be honest with you guys, you nailed this. Every two-way frequency table I looked at over this weekend and every relative frequency table was spectacular. Just remember that the important thing is when you're doing the relative frequency is to divide. And check your notes. Check your notes. So that's pretty much it. That's pretty much this entire unit. So you guys will do your worksheet in the morning or when you first come in. And then after that, you're going to get after your worksheet, you're going to get your study guide. And then you work on it all hour. So if you get done with it sooner than all hour, that's great. Then I know there's either prep works you can work on for other classes. There's the question of the week or the AOW, I think it's called. So I know you guys have things to handle. So when I come back, I expect a good report from Friday, which I already got my report from that, and I expect a good report from today. And there will be some good things in your future if both of those reports are positive. All right, guys. I will see you all tomorrow. Remember to finish that study guide. Bring it to school tomorrow because we will be reviewing it. And then Wednesday we're going to do our test. After that, we're on to Chapter 5, man, or Unit 5. And from what I saw in my training Friday, Unit 5 is, I think we're going to have fun. It's not going to be super hard, but it's also not going to be super easy. I think it's going to be a good transition into winter break. So I'll see y'all on the flippity flop. Keep it real, homies.